Greetings, Star Wars fans. Today is May 4th, also known as May the 4th be with you or Star Wars Day. A great day for us fans, as we take time to celebrate the beautiful things that George Lucas has brought to us. The beautiful world that he has created for us, and that continues to inspire millions of billions of people today. And as a special for my channel, I'd like to do something I've never done before, and I'd like to rank all 7 of the Star Wars films to kind of celebrate Star Wars Day. So, without further ado, here we go. Taking place at number 7, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Okay, so first up I'm going to say, do these prequels deserve all the hate they get? No. Do they deserve a good chunk of it? Yeah. But do they deserve it all? No, they don't. I mean, Attack of the Clones is a very boring film for me to watch, except for the last 40 minutes, but I still, every once in a while, will sit down, watch it, enjoy it. Sure, the writing is awful, the dialogue is awful, but the story's not that bad. The music was fantastic. In fact, I own all 3 of the soundtracks to the prequels. I listen to them almost every day. And, yeah, the story was good. But, yeah, I wasn't necessarily a fan of the writing and the dialogue. This movie is kind of boring. It did lose my interest quite a bit. I'd zone out and stuff. It almost put me to sleep, actually. So, that's why I ranked this number 7. Taking place at number 6, Star Wars, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, this is where the hate mail comes in, right? How could you dare put Star Wars Episode 1 above any other movie? Well, simply this. Episode 1 has more redeeming qualities than Episode 2, as well as the fact that without the pod racing scenes, it's not that boring. In fact, last weekend, I actually sat down and watched The Phantom Menace, and with the exception of the pod racing scene, I was fairly able to pay attention and not lose my interest. It's got more action than Clones. It's got better dialogue than Clones. Sure, it may have done some things that I didn't necessarily like with the Star Wars franchise, such as the midi-chlorians or the virgin birth. I like the idea of the chosen one and all that, but don't make it because of the midi-chlorians and all that crap. Think of it just, he was chosen by the Force. But otherwise, and the action was pretty good. Had great music as well. That kind of helped make the action scenes. Better acting than Clones did. Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Frank Oz, Natalie Portman, they all did good. Hayden Christensen kind of spoiled Clones for me. And he sets out like a sore thumb. But Phantom Menace doesn't really have all that. Jake Lloyd, I don't necessarily blame him. And I think he did an alright job. Now, I didn't say he did the best. Of course he could have done better. But it wasn't at the point where it was jaw-droppingly awful either. And Jar Jar Binks didn't necessarily mind. It wasn't that I was annoyed by him. It was the fact that he was actively focused on. That's really my only problem. I just wanted him to shut up because of how much he was focused on in the movie. That's the problem I have with Jar Jar Binks. Otherwise, he's really no different than C-3PO in The Empire Strikes Back. Except C-3PO wasn't actively focused on. Jar Jar was, and that's the problem I have with him. Taking place at number 5, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, this is easily the best of the prequels. Yeah. This is a good movie. I love it. Great music, great emotion, great story. Dialogue could use some working. Fantastic acting. Hayden Christensen still didn't necessarily do well. Once he became Darth Vader, though, his acting kind of increased and went up the scale. But otherwise, as Anakin Skywalker, his acting was still flat and bad. But Ewan McGregor, Ian McDiarmid, oh my gosh. Their acting and their performances are so incredible and enjoyable to watch. And, I mean, while it did kind of ruin a little of the franchise continuity or throwing some dumb lines to fix up plot holes and stuff, it was still, all in all, a good film. I love to sit down and watch it. It kind of drags on a little throughout that kind of second part. The whole first act of the film, that was pretty good. Second act, kind of lost its pacing a little, but the third act pretty much, as soon as Mace Windu goes to confront the Chancellor, that's where it just gets good and it just keeps going better. And the final battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan was awesome. Of course, if you've seen the Clone Wars, it makes it very emotional too, especially Obi-Wan's comment out, "You were my brother. I loved you." And all in all, a good film. Now, were there better? Yes. Could it have been better? Yes. But was it terrible? No. Does it deserve all the hate it gets? No. Does it deserve about 40% of it or so? Yeah. But otherwise, I love Revenge of the Sith. Taking its place at rank number 4, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now, yes, was this still a good film? Yeah, it was. Do I enjoy it more than Revenge of the Sith? No. And is it definitely the weakest of the original trilogy? Yeah. The Ewoks, that kind of pushed it out for me. And the whole idea of them taking down the technologically advanced Empire. The Jabba the Hutt palace scene and all that went on a little too long. I'm thinking that's the reason why it was all stupid elaborate. Otherwise, space battle was good. The ending lightsaber battle is probably one of my most favorite battles. The emotion going through it. Some good, kind of cool plot twist. The Princess Leia Luke being brother-sister thing. That's good. Until you think of that one moment in Empire Strikes Back. Ugh. But anyways, it was still a good film. It was written better than Revenge of the Sith and directed better than Revenge of the Sith, so that's why I rank it above Revenge of the Sith. Otherwise, I could really make a case for, and I really would make a case for, Revenge of the Sith being better. Now we get to the top 3, which are, without a doubt, the best of them. Taking number 3, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Yeah, I had a lot on its agenda to do. I had to satisfy many Star Wars fans' expectations, make up for the prequels and the special editions, introduce the saga to a new age, a new generation of fans, and be good. And it did well. Was it practically a remake of The New Hope with certain other elements from the other two films? Yeah. But do I mind? No. Star Wars is a psychological story. Or, not psychological. It's a cycle. It repeats itself. It's like, if you allow my Lion King metaphor here, the circle of life. The first act of the trilogy is always usually repetitive. It introduces those familiar elements, and then the next two kind of take it up to change things up. The Phantom Menace, A New Hope, and The Force Awakens really do kind of have a similar story structure. Do I mind it? Not at all. And otherwise, it was very well acted, well written. I loved it, and I do. Of course, do I wish that they did something better than a third Death Star? Yeah. But otherwise, I really don't have many complaints about it. It was good. I loved it. brought me back into the saga that I already really loved and enjoyed, and had spent the past 6 years of my life invested in. And I applaud J.J. Abrams for that. Taking place at number 2, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Or simply, to the diehard fans, just Star Wars. Now this is where the second pile of hate mail flows in. How could you rank the original second? Well, it may be the original. It may be fantastic. It may be what started it all. But it's not the best. Some of the dialogue was a little cringeworthy. The acting was a little wooden from certain people, like Luke Skywalker in the beginning is a little whiny. Of course, so was Hayden Christensen. But, of course, you gotta weigh it. Anakin's character, he's been through a lot. He's just lost his mother. Was a slave. I mean, all this piles up. And so I kind of give a little excuse for his character to be whiny. Luke, he didn't really have too much to complain about. He just had a simple life. What's there to complain about? Of course, there's always like, oh, I just wish I had more, but it just isn't fair, you know? But I don't criticize it too much for that. The emotion from Princess Leia was kind of, I mean, her freaking home planet blew up, and she didn't really bat an eyelash. So, while it was great, it is a fantastic film, and I love it to death, it's not the best. What is the best? Well, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. This movie is awesome. I love it. It is my favorite. It is the best Star Wars film. George Lucas stepping aside to let Lawrence Kasdan write, Irvin Kershner direct, were great decisions. Fantastic. And it worked out so well. It made such a better film than what it might have been. And I love it. It was fantastic. The whole movie is just awesomely paced, adventurous, exciting, enjoying, has good elements of suspense, darkness, romance, adventure, excitement. A Jedi craves not these things, but Star Wars fans do, and this movie brought plenty of it. Many things. Oh, I love the final battle between Darth Vader and Luke. The emotion in every swing. The whole carbon freezing sequence. Han's awesome, infamous line of, I know. But ultimately, what also makes it not just one of the best Star Wars film, but one of the best films of all time, is the big reveal at the end of the movie. That Darth Vader is Luke's father. While that may be something that everybody knows and doesn't really care about nowadays because we all know it, back in that day that was mind-blowing, and that still sets itself as one of the best movie reveals of all time. And ultimately this movie is one of the best sequels of all time, and it is definitely the best Star Wars film. Of course, that isn't my personal favorite ranking of the Star Wars films. That is just ranking them on a non-biased standpoint as films in general, which is a better film, which is a worse film. My personal favorite rankings of the movies go like this. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace at number 7. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones at number 6. Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi at number 5. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope at number 4. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith at number 3. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens at number 2. And Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back at number 1. As you probably noticed, Episode 5 is both the best film as a non-biased standpoint ranking and my personal favorite film, which is true. I love Empire. I think it is the best, and I love it. I love it the most. It's my favorite. Of course, this is a nearly impossible task, not necessarily ranking them from a non-biased standpoint, but ranking them as a personal favorite. I found Episode 1 and 2 quite interchangeable, Episode 4 and 6 were pretty much solid in their places, but episodes 7 and 3 were interchangeable as well, really. But what is really the point in ranking them all? The thing is, we love them all. They're Star Wars. They're part of our childhood. They're part of our lives. They're part of our culture. It is an impossible task to rank them, and I'm so surprised that I found myself doing this. In fact, this has been a video that I've been contemplating doing for the past year or so. And my rankings have really changed to the point where I decided, you know what? I just have to go with this video being a non-biased standpoint rank, and then do my personal favorite ranking. And even then, it was so interchangeable. So many times were there when Revenge of the Sith was at the top, or when it was above Force Awakens, or A New Hope was lower than Return of the Jedi, or that the Phantom Menace was above Clones. It's really an impossible task, and I can guarantee you, prior to the release of Rogue One, weeks before, if you were to come up and ask me the same question, my personal favorites ranking will probably be different then than what it is now. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Thank you for watching, and if you guys have any comments, if you disagree, agree, got anything to say, you know where to write them, and I'll be looking over the next few days. So that's all I got for you guys today. Happy Star Wars Day. May the Force be with you. Darth Momo, out. Go ahead, if you liked the video, click on that subscribe button. Subscribe to more to the channel, more Star Wars bits, upcoming features. And always go ahead, hit that like button and comment. Thank you.